I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
You know, I'm very I'm not amazed by how some people think, right? I'm amazed how some people think, how people don't need don't know how to learn. It's like y'all don't even learn about his history. Anybody can go back 20 years ago. Remember 20 years ago, I'll say around 2002 up until 2023, 2024, 2025, right? Around those between those years. I'll say the years in the immediate years after 9/11, right? During 9 and 11, George Bush became very popular, right? What's going on, Hogwarts, college level Hogwarts? What's going on with you? Yeah, yeah. Let me turn the comments on real quick, and let me do something with the comments. Put it tall to the big, so hold on, just make it wide. No, yeah, yeah. Make it like that, right? I ain't gonna do no panel, so I ain't doing no panel. So let me just put the live stream. You know what? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Make it. Yeah, yeah. I'll put it like that. Okay, so everybody can see. And I gotta say something, right? 20 years ago, let me get back to where I was saying. Everybody saying, Iraq has WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. We need to back the president. We need to back the prime minister of Great Britain. We need to back the troops. We kept hearing that over and over. If you don't uh, back the war in Iraq, you're either not an American, you're allowing the terrorists to win. You know all of that, right? Now, how come people did not learn about how come nobody actually learned? So what I'm going to play, right? What I'm going to play is the same reasoning I have, and it's something that's going on in Venezuela. Let's play this real quick. Yeah, let me make this big so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
The Department of Defense killed 14 alleged drug traffickers on 4 boats in the Eastern Pacific Monday. The strikes were carried out in international waters against individuals who the Trump
Wait,
administration.
stop. It says international waters. The airstrikes on these boats happen on international waters, not in the waters of an allied country, not in the waters of countries that are friendly to the United States, not on in American waters, but in the open high seas.
Says are members of cartels that have been designated as terrorist organizations. We spoke with Senator Tim Kaine, who introduced a war powers resolution with Senator Adam Schiff that, if approved, would block future strikes in the Caribbean unless Congress provides an authorization for the use of military force, or an AUMF. Will the senators introduce?
See, and let me talk about this, right? Y'all sit here and talk about we voted for Trump to get us out of wars. What's going on, V-Dub? See you in the chat room. This is starting a war. This is a war crime, and y'all can't sit and understand. You know, and I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. This is a war crime, and none of y'all are sitting here saying, there's something wrong with this." Now let's see what they're going to do. Now I'm going to tell you the justification what they're about to say, right? Because this is gang, you know. This is gang activity. Let's go ahead and play this real quick.
A new resolution specific to the strikes in the Pacific, and can they get enough Republicans to support it?
Here is what I think we'll do. I have the resolution pending with respect to Venezuela. I spoke with Senator Schiff last night. Senator Schiff was the lead. I was the co-sponsor on the earlier resolution about strikes in the Caribbean. I think you might see him file a new authorization that would encompass both Caribbean and Pacific.
Just putting Adam Schiff's name on that and just saying he's the one who wrote it, that's guaranteed it's not going to pass. Just saying Adam Schiff is Trump is not going to sign that when it has Adam Schiff's name on it. And on second, because we know Donald Trump is such a petty individual, a childish individual. You think he's going to sign a law with one of the people who try to kick him out the White House? And then you think that the Republicans in the House, assuming y'all pass it in the Senate, you think that the Republicans in the House are going to abide by it? Because they're only like two votes short. You don't have the votes in the House. What are you talking about? And then on top of that, you can't just sit there and say let's get rid of the war, create a war resolution. The vote down was going on. At the same time, there's a war resolution still in the Middle East, and Afghanistan, and Iraq. You got to get if y'all really want to be, you got to get rid of those two war resolutions, one in Iraq, one in Afghanistan. Just saying.
It certainly is something that we need to bring before the Senate. He and I talked about it last night. I expect you might see him file that.
Some senators on both sides of the aisle have said they're comfortable because they do consider drug cartels to be terrorists. Is there a way to craft an AUMF that you think could be approved and you'd be comfortable with?
No, okay. Okay, then let's use this by that logic, right? So if drug cartels are terrorists, then by that logic, how come we're not treating the ones at home the same? How come we're not treating the drug dealer on the street corner the same way? Because they are the distributors. The people on the boats or who we think that's on the boats are actually the suppliers. If y'all really want to destroy the drug industry, there's two ways to do it. Address the user, because there is a supply and a demand. In order to address the supply, to address the demand, you have to do things to make sure that the demand is no longer capable or wanting the product. And second of all, the second solution is in the drug war. If you're in the drug war, there'd be no need for there's no money for those people, for the drug smugglers, the drug dealer, and whoever else along the pipeline makes money off of it. It's not lucrative for them to make cash money off of it. See, if y'all really are serious about the drug war and these drugs coming in community, you have to identify the demand, why they are demanding it, and make sure those demands are not needed. But people around here are so intellectually lazy, right? On that, right? What's going on, Pierre? Tell the first lady, well wishes to her. Okay. Anyway, where was I at? I was talking to college level Hortwogs. Anyway, let's keep it moving though. It's going to be a short live stream. I'm not going to be here very long.
Not without getting information from the administration. Folks who saying they're comfortable with going after drug traffickers, we haven't been given evidence to clearly establish that in each case these were drug traffickers. And we've also been given no answer by the administration as to who is on the list that he is using to decide when to strike, and we've not been given information from the administration about why they strike rather than interdict. If you strike, you blow up the evidence. If you interdict, you gather the evidence that you can use for prosecutions. There might be circumstances where a strike is better than interdiction. We've been given no information from the administration about how they make that choice. You can't draft up an AUMF to authorize an operation that the administration wants to keep secret even from Congress, much less the American people. They would have to provide the information about what's going on, and then someone might make a decision to craft an authorization. But thus far, they haven't even provided the information.
And then finally, have you seen any intelligence that any of these folks were innocent civilians?
It's been publicly reported, so I'm not revealing anything from intelligence, and many of these questions have not been answered by the administration. That in one of the earlier strikes, there were survivors, and those survivors were returned to their country of origin and released. If they were narco traffickers and we had them in custody, why didn't we arrest them? Why didn't we prosecute?
Right. How come? Oh, hold on. Your live stream just crashed. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway. And I'm just sitting here saying, like, okay, if these people were survivors and there were survivors being made here, how come you didn't arrest these survivors, use to pick them up? Hold on, Stanley Cross. What's going on, Stanley Cross? Going with you. So where are the So where are the? How come you didn't pick up these survivors? How come you didn't arrest them? If these people are terrorists, quote unquote, how come they're not picked up and carted up to the nearest prison, like Gitmo? How come they're not in Gitmo? How come they're not in Miami federal court? How come they're not even in the Puerto Rico federal court, the nearest federal court nearby? See, nobody is not asking the right questions. Nobody's asking the right questions. Finally, somebody said, finally, there is evidence of survivors of these airstrikes.
Why didn't we leverage them to find out information about higher ups? That suggests that in this case, those individuals may not have been narco traffickers. And when that is publicly reported, it really raises the stakes to try to make sure that the president is not just assuming the role of judge, jury, and executioner, including over people who are not narco traffickers.
The Schiff-Kane resolution pertaining to strikes in the Pacific was blocked by Republicans who say the military is taking the proper precautions to ensure they're only targeting drug cartel members who are actively trafficking drugs into the United States.
Trump is doing the right thing. I mean, we don't want, how many of you want drugs in your neighborhood? I have grandkids. I don't want drugs. I don't want my grandkids ever have drugs. What the president's doing, he's finally taken action to stop these drugs from coming in the country. So
wait a minute. Stop. Aren't you the CEO of a pharmaceutical company that went ahead and or was it health insurance company that did not give people the right treatment, and some people got hurt behind you, and you got the nerve to talk about drugs and talking about your grandkids? You know, then again, it's Florida, by the way. It's Florida, you know. It's Florida. It's Florida. Florida. Real terrorist is you, tell you the truth. Anyway, let's keep it moving.
The right thing.
But don't you have any concern that we don't necessarily know who is on these boats?
They're very comfortable. They know who's on the boats.
Can I ask you a question, though? I don't want drugs in my community. But at the same time, if you're smuggling drugs, even if you got found guilty in a court of law, you wouldn't get the death penalty for that. And they're getting the death penalty without a trial.
I'm fine with that.
For specific...
Wait, hold on. You're fine with that? He just said he's fine with that. Nobody got tried. Nobody got sentenced. But he's fine that somebody's getting killed. Wait a minute. Aren't you pro-life, Rick Scott? Are you... Can someone please tell Rick Scott, are you pro-life? See, I don't want to hear nobody talking about pro-life this, pro-life this, pro-life that. If you're going to be pro-life from the womb to the tomb, all right? Be pro-life when it's to the womb to the tomb. I'm gonna say why they're pro-life. Let me tell you why they're pro-life. And it's for two reasons. It's two reasons. One is to control women, and second is to control the poor population for military use. You know what? That needs to be a tagline. Democrats are pro-life, Republicans are pro-birth. See, that should be a tagline for 2026. But you know, they don't listen to us though. You know, liberals don't listen to us online. They, you know, that's why I have a problem getting interviews. But if I ask a libertarian, if I ask somebody who's a Republican, they will sit there and say, "Yeah, we do." See, Republicans wouldn't mind talking online because they know that the online community, you know, it's well, anyway, I think y'all understand what I want to say. I can't articulate it at this late at night. It's too late. It's too late at night for me to articulate it the way I want it to. But anyway, I'm being honest with y'all. But let's keep it moving, because what Rick Scott said, whoever vote for Rick Scott, you're part of the problem. Because what he just said, y'all should be scared. When he said it doesn't matter.
On what I was speaking to Senator Scott about, according to the DEA, drug trafficking carries a penalty of a minimum 10 years in prison to all the way up to life, and that depends on the type of drug, the amount of drugs, and the number of previous offenses. Here's Senator John.
Right. It's 10 to life if you are trafficking drugs. It's 10 years to life. But we want to drop a $500,000 bomb to take out drugs on a speedboat. The bomb costs $500,000 to drop, plus the $100,000. I forgot of flying the airplane to do it. So you're taking an F-35 jet or F-A-18 naval jet at least, and the flight hours is what? Now I'm not a military person, but the flight hours is very expensive. To fly the plane per hour is very expensive. The fuel costs, launching the aircraft, dropping the ordnance, that costs money, right? How much money is being spent just to drop a bomb of that magnitude on a speedboat? Doesn't make any sense. And nobody here talking about, well, what about the taxes, the tax cuts? Nobody ain't talking about how much tax dollars is spent to do something like this.
Cornyn.
But I have confidence in the president and his national security team to identify a clear and present danger to the American people and to stop it. We've tried the law enforcement model of arresting our way out of this terrible drug crisis and the deaths that's caused over the years, and that hasn't worked. So I'm certainly willing to give the president the flexibility to try something different.
Stop. John Cornyn is the biggest. Well, let me take a sip, y'all. Let me take a sip on his limeade here. Yeah, I'm gonna take a sip of this limeade because I was about to say something. I'm about to say CS. He is the biggest CS. Anytime there is somebody in power, John Cornyn, who's my senator, by the way, he always sucks up to somebody who's in power. Now, he's not bad as Lindsey Graham. He's not bad as Lindsey Graham, but just him saying that without saying, wait a minute. Supreme Court says due process. You know.
So if you support it, why not try to make a bigger push to give him authorization through Congress? And it is your authority.
Well, he doesn't believe he needs it. And I'm not confident that the Democrats would vote to give it to him.
That's not the point. Just give him the authorization. If you don't think they're going to pass, then so what? At least y'all said you tried. But let me look at the comment section, because this really troubles me. What people will hear say, right? This is what troubles me, right? Yeah. I know I have to be careful because I'm monetized, because I have to be careful here because I really want to say it, but I think y'all understand where I was about to go. College level Horguachi, So let's sit here and read this part. This person said, anyone who think they're fishing boats, obviously they are not. Oh my God. I like Ray's ability to ask intelligent questions, probing questions without the confrontational gotcha approach of mainstream. Oh, yeah, I like that too. Good luck with that. All of a sudden, when their mules are getting vaporized and their cut of the money is being jeopardized, they want to grab back the war powers. Of course it works. They want to stop it. Oh my God, y'all don't. If they're not finding, if there's survivors and those survivors not being picked up and arrested, therefore by that logic, you know, if these people were guilty, why didn't you arrest these survivors? We've been trying to interdict for many decades now. It doesn't work. The cartels know how to avoid interdiction. Duh. The politician knows that and actually wants to fight drugs to keep flowing. Despicable. No, you change. You focus on the supply. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. You focus on the demand. Y'all never focus on the demand. This clown said Department of War. Its name is the Department of War. Sorry, just because Donald Trump wrote an executive order calling it the Department of War. The Department of War had not existed until 1947. The National Security Act of 1947 changed the name to the Department of Defense. It's still called the Department of Defense, no matter what Trump said. If you don't know if they're drug traffickers, how do you know if you are an American? Obama used a drone to kill an American citizen. No. Okay, what Obama did, I'm not here to defend Obama, but what President Obama did, he killed a person who was a suspect, a person who lived in America and who went to a training camp in Yemen. Can y'all just be honest with what's being said? Y'all can't even be honest. Jeez. It's like y'all just don't. It shows that people that the American people. Hold on. Like somebody said, but they are not an American. The laws of America are in the states, not on the waters. America has signed the Treaty of the Seas. Treaties are laws. Says again, treaties are laws. Say it again, treaties are laws. We fought the War 1812 over the Treaty of Laws. We fought World War I over the Treaty of the Seas. We fought War 1812 over the Treaty of the Seas. What are y'all see? Y'all talking and y'all don't know squat. And this is the problem with Trump supporters. Uneducated. No wonder. Y'all actually, yeah, exactly. Treaties are laws. The treaties we have, treaties are laws. I don't know what how you post and yes, the International Treaty Act, the International Treaty on oceans and seas says if something does occur and in its middle of the ocean, it's the jurisdiction of the nearest naval ship to do what is, in the jurisdiction. Like, okay, let's say I'm in international waters right? Let's say though you and me college level horror walks, we committed a crime in the middle of the Pacific, right? We committed a horrible crime on a boat, and the nearest country has the right to take us in. The nearest country or the nearest ship that's nearby, based on the flag it flies, has the right to take us in, and we'll be prosecuted for the under their laws. But in this case, this is nowhere near the United States. It's near Venezuela. Y'all got to start reading. And social media and Trumpism is a bad recipe. You got a bunch of uneducated people, misinformed people who don't know shit. You don't know shit about laws. And every time though you try to tell people something, oh man, you're being an intellectual and you do this. No, sit down and be quiet. Y'all the last people to speak. Anyone who assumed the boats were attacked, were headed to the unit, and has no idea of space and time, the act of keeping poor people talking to their knees requires a lot more dope than you can put on a small boat. Right. Screw these senators. We finally have a president who's going after the drug cartels. Thank you, President Trump. We realize you morons are okay with the overdoses of Americas. We are not. That sounds like something what Kelly Ray would say. That sounds like some shit Kelly Ray would say. Just blindly not just accepting shit. Not sitting there not sitting there having well thought out not even well thought out response. Just thank God for Trump. Yeah, he said, yeah, you're right. He said, I love uneducated people. He said himself, yeah, he sure did. But anyway, I'm not gonna be here very long, y'all. I just have to get this off my chest because wait, hold on. I hear a noise. Anyway, that's right. There's a cow. Never mind, it's a cow. Yeah. There's a cow that's trying to eat outside the door, outside the window. Never mind. Yeah, that kind of like, what the hell was that? Okay. Anyway, yeah, she had a calf. Anyway, back to what I was saying, y'all. And I'm sitting there like, listen, y'all got to start thinking. Oh, scared you for a second? No. I live out in the woods and sticks and shit. So yeah, I own livestock. I own livestock. So it's all right. You know, I'm gonna go outside and check on her and the calf though. But anyway, yeah, y'all heard that noise? Like, what the hell? And I looked outside and I see, I seen it. So anyway, and And don't worry, I have a dog too, though. So the dog would have been barking with something else. Anyway, um, so anyway, I wish people started thinking. We live in a country where people don't think; they're feeling. They're in their feelings. The same people that will call liberals snowflakes. The same people that will sit there and tell people facts over feelings. They're the main ones who aren't in their feelings. Conservatives love to use that tagline. I hear it on talk radio a lot. Facts over feelings. Facts doesn't care about your feelings and all that foolishness. They're the main ones to be up in their feelings when you tell them, listen, here are the facts. You can't do this because it goes against this law and it goes against this treaty. Therefore, you can't do it. It goes against the conventions of the seas that was passed 500 years ago, and which that America signed in 1792. But nobody want to talk about this, right? You only worry about things. You only arrest people. The problem I have with conservatives is that they try to make things so simple when it's complicated. And then they try to make excuses for it. Yeah, we live in a time of anti-intellectualism. There's such a disdain towards experts in their fields, and we really need to change that with the kids. If ignorance and bigotry are left unchecked, they rot. Well, I'm gonna say this: college level war hog. I'm gonna say it like this. Listen, it's gonna have to take something big to happen to stop all that. Something has to happen big, college war hog, for that to stop. Because you try to explain things to people. Oh, you're a fake intellectual, or you you're know-it-all, or you are one guy who's supposed to be MGTOW dude gonna call me a retarded fuck, or R-word fuck, right? Actually reading and comprehending and articulate what's going on. See, the problem I have with modern day society, college level war hog, is that you got people who are not articulate, who don't comprehend, who don't read, and don't know what contexts are. Context matters. The subject verb agreement matters. What they think, like their minds are full of mush. And I ain't talking about the kids. I'm talking about these grown ass people. People who are in their 40s, people in their 50s, people in their 60s, and their minds are just like mush. All right, y'all can't comprehend what was being said, so you got to tell people 6 times so they can get it. That's why I get in beefs with all these clowns. The clowns are being celebrated on social media. The clowns, the fools, the jackals. They get celebrated. And all they do is repeat what somebody else tells them. Now, the same attitude Because I'm gonna use what happened in Iraq War. Some of us who was now I was in college during the Iraq War, the run up to the Iraq War, and you got people talking about, yeah, man, weapons of mass destruction. Bush, those weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so if there was weapons of mass destruction, and Saddam Hussein had 9 months to a year, to, he had 9 months. 9, 10, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10 months at least in advance that America was coming. Wouldn't you use WMDs at a nearest military base in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, somewhere near a military base somewhere in Turkey? If I knew a country, a big ass country was going to invade my country, I would use the WMD, knowing the fact they can wipe out my country out. If I'm being invaded from the north, the south, the east, and west, wouldn't I sit there and actually use my WMD when I have a weak ass army? See, it's stupid. Yeah, critical thinking is a hold on. It really will be tough to fix all this. We need critical thinking skills from a young age and look down upon adults that believe all the lies. Basically copying what we did in Germany after World War II. I'm gonna say something. College Warhog. There was a movie made, and I would play the clip of this movie. What's going, Moo Moo? I would play a clip from this movie. There was an old. I watch old Western movies, right? I watch old Westerns. There was a movie by John Wayne. John Wayne and hold on. You know what? Let me find this movie real quick. Let me find this movie. So I won't lie to you. I won't lie to you. It was a John Wayne movie made in the 40s. It was in black and white. And I'm gonna try to find the movie real quick. Let me try to find this movie real quick. And the ending of the movie make me look at. I'm gonna say it like this. That's why I look at white women sideways. And I'm about to go here with this, and I know it's gonna sound bad. I know it's gonna sound bad, but there was a movie made, and I'm trying to find. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm gonna try to find this movie real quick. Hold on. It's a John Wayne movie. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Because this movie stuck out, the ending of the movie itself. Hold on, just give me a minute. Is that the tip of my tongue? The movie's at the tip of my tongue, real quick. Fort Apache, right? Fort Apache, right? It was 1940s. Okay, yeah. There was a movie called Fort Apache by John Wayne. The end of that movie, where they all wearing the United States cavalry outfit, and then the last scene of the movie, you saw all those white women. You know, the army is marching. You know, John Wayne and his crew got on the horse. So all those white women got up there, all standing shoulder to shoulder, waving their husbands goodbye and shit, right? Now I know I'm not trying to be racial, but that's how I view the Trump supporter. The female Trump supporters. They think that what John Wayne, what they're about to do was going to be some righteous cause. They're going out there to fight the Indians. No, they're not there to fight the Indians to defend you. They're going out there to slaughter other people that don't look like you. They ain't fighting for you. They're fighting for resources. And the brown people, the red people, and the black people are in the way. If you watch the end of that movie, you will understand where I'm talking about, because that's how I view the female Trump supporter. Not even they ain't thinking about, oh wait, should we, you know, is it right for him to go out there marching to slaughter these other groups of people? What about the women and the children of those native tribes? They're all standing there waving with their chest out and saying, "Yay, John Wayne, let's go up and fight the red man." And we supposed to be high mighty with, you know, this high mighty and try to be moral. Our morale. See, this is the reason why I think the America needs to grow up. America is only 250 years old. Everybody else is not. Everybody else is thousands of years or more old. We're 150 years old. And we use our power unwisely since the Second World War. We use our power unwisely. We did not understand the lessons, you know, and we never sit there and actually think, okay, wait a minute. Okay, we be sitting there waving at red, white, and blue, and talking about, well, you know, America is a diverse country, and you know, the Italians came here, the Czechs came here, the Slovakians came here, the what's it called, the Germans got here. You know, Neil Diamond was singing the song, "Everybody Round the World Coming to America." You hear that damn song. Okay, it's fine that everybody's coming to America, but nobody asks the question, why? Because if you are here sitting there coming to America to escape oppression, shouldn't that tell you as America, stop being oppressive to your own fellow Americans? See, am I the only one who don't see the hypocrisy in this fake morality, this fake performance of morality that we supposed to be, we're more moral than everybody else, but yet we are actually not. The only difference is we have the power to cover it up, though, our immorality, or we have the power to use our money or wealth and our military power to cover up or make excuses with and not being accountable for our actions. But they're gonna tell me I'm a weak ass liberal, America hating, anti-Semitic or anti whatever, anti-white, racist. They'll say any type of excuse except for what I'm actually talking about. Except for what I'm talking about, they'll say everything else. We live in a country where people don't fucking think. They're in their feelings. So anyway, let me get off of here. Thank y'all for stopping by. Yeah, I have to do this little rant. I'm gonna thank the people who came up in here. Thank Vita. Thank you to my co-host, Pure Butterfly Spirit. Let me see here. Who's came in here? Knight and Bishop. Stanley Cross. What's going on, Stanley? Stanley Cross, we're going with you. Let me get out of here in a minute. The majority of drugs are manufactured in America. See, right, Pure. Yeah. Hold on, let me go ahead and scroll down for a minute. Moo. Go on. Yeah, I'm gonna say bye to everybody and say hi. Why high? Yeah. No, I was talking about Fort Apache was the movie, not How the West was won. But yeah, the movie's called Fort Apache. The last 5 minutes of that movie, that's how I view female manga, because they have this mindset that everything is fighting for them when in reality, no, it's anyway. Let me get out of here. Y'all be easy, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace, and I'm out.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.